Well, they did it. Wow. Guys, I'm not going to lie. I did not think we were going to be doing this. I had kind of given up all hope that this was ever going to happen. I kind of thought we were just going to limp this one to the end of the year, take him off the playoff roster. They did it. The Baltimore Orioles have designated relief pitcher Craig Kimbrel for assignment after giving him over $13 million this offseason. Brian Baker was the corresponding move. Colin Selby also has a locker in the club, or not a locker, but he's in the clubhouse. So Rakabako just reporting that. Wow. I'm not going to lie. I didn't see this coming. I really didn't. Even with Craig Kimbrel last night pitching atrociously, the worst outing of his career, which I'll get to in a minute. I really just thought this was going to be something that we sit there. There's 11 games left. We only see him coming up if we're down by 10, if we're up by 10. I thought it was going to be, we just allow Craig Kimbrel to kind of stick around and then go off without him in the playoffs. I did not think that on September 18th, we would be DFAing him. I really did not see this coming. But I'll tell you, a lot of people are happy about it. And maybe it is Mike Elias and them sending a message. Maybe this is something where they are sending somewhat of a message to the team saying, hey, we don't care what we pay you. We don't care what your contract says. We don't care what your career is. I think this was one of those things where they're like, hey, if you're not helping this team produce, if you're not helping this team during this collapse, then we don't want you here. We can't have you here. We can't have you taking up a roster spot. So that's good to see in that aspect of it. It's good to see that a lot of people were kind of concerned that this was going to be an Elias thing, that he was holding on too long. And yeah, I think he did hold on too long. I think they did lengthen this out more than they probably could have. Since the All-Star break, or technically, I know I'm going to cherry pick. I'm going to take the game right before the All-Star break as well, when Craig blew the save against the Yankees. But in his last 19 appearances, Craig Kimbrel has an 11.5 ERA with 21 strikeouts in how many innings even is this? In 18 innings. So 19 appearances, 18 innings, 11.50 ERA. That's why you're gone. That's why he's gone, is because you can't have that, especially when the Detroit Tigers are only 5.5 games back and you play them for 3 games. Every game now is like, it's not a playoff game, but you got to find a way to win 5 or 6 of these last 11 games if you want to be in the playoffs. So you need all 26 guys. You can't be playing a man down in the bullpen. It is. And Sam, actually, I like this point. I know people are saying, well, we're wasting spots with Holiday and Mayo. With the injuries and depth to the organization in the just fielding position, with the fielders, they don't have depth. They don't have enough depth to send Kobe Mayo down. I mean, we have Emmanuel Rivera, we have Levon Soto already playing starting games. So it's not necessarily, I just don't see them. Those aren't guys that you're going to get a massive upgrade anywhere with. If anything, are they going to bring back up Nick Maton? Yeah, and Steve, I completely agree. If these injuries were not a thing, if Ramon doesn't go down, if Jorge doesn't go down, if Westberg doesn't go down, I think maybe Holiday's up right now. I don't think he ever gets to the point where he was starting every day. I don't think Kobe Mayo's, maybe he's up and getting a few at-bats here and there. He doesn't have the role he is. Mountcastle going down also helped Kobe, kind of stick on this roster. Yeah. And hello, sleeping. So you said I was hoping for Selby instead of Baker, you meant. So Colin Selby, I just said a few minutes ago, Rakabaka reported Selby is in Baltimore. Probably in the next day or so, we'll see a move that he's back. Michael's saying Ramon will be back very soon. Yeah, if you saw the videos yesterday, Ramon Arias was sprinting around the field. He was running the bases. And from the videos and stuff, obviously it's about how Ramon feels. But he looked good. And yes, so Selby is on the taxi squad. So that's a good sign. That means if anything happens, if someone has a poor outing, any of that, and they want to bring him up, they can do it on a hour's notice. They can do it tomorrow if needed. It's not like he needs time to get here. So yeah, Selby on the taxi squad. I also assume Danny Coulombe's going to come back any day, Jacob Webb, all them. So it's going to be a lot of shifting around in the bullpen. These final 11 games, I think we're going to see like 5 or 6 moves in the bullpen. Just each day there's going to be more guys coming and going because you can't have a tired bullpen. If guys are tired and they have options, they're going to be taken out. They're going to be optioned. They're going to be it's at the point where they just need to find arms that can go out there and get outs. Now, the whole offensive thing is a whole different thing. We need to score runs so we can get relievers in meaningful out situations. But I think the bullpen is going to be just a rotation right now, especially the early, the Dominguez's, the Coulombe once he's back, Cano, they're all going to be good. They'll be in the late innings. But I think we see guys like Selby, like Baker, all kind of getting these rotations over the next few days of coming and going. Was Webb officially activated? I saw him at the game yesterday, but I couldn't remember if he was. Yeah, I don't know why I said Jacob Webb. Yeah, he's back. He was back the same day that Heston was. That's why I forgot. I don't know why. Yeah, that's why I was at the Ravens game. That's why I just completely forgot that Jacob Webb. So yeah, the Jacob Webbs and stuff, they're not gonna be in this rotation, but it's the rest of these guys like the Bakers, the Selbys. They're kind of. I don't know about Matt Bowman. Maybe he kind of comes up and or gets sent down if they need Selby or something. I think Birch Smith is a big guy that because he has options, he could go. It's just going to be this bullpen is going to be, as Hyder says, he just needs guys to get outs. How can they get 27 outs? That's all that matters. Jenny's saying Heston looked really good yesterday. Heston looked fantastic. Heston Kjerstad should be in the lineup every single day after yesterday. Like you need, if Heston, with the way that we make lineups and do all of that, I don't trust it. But Heston Kjerstad, after coming off the bench and going 2 for 2 yesterday, should be batting like second today. Like just get Heston in. Just get Heston in. Alan couldn't agree more. Heston was the only positive from yesterday. Yeah, if Heston, I was talking about it on last night's show as well, which Kevin and Zach React, we go live after every single Orioles and Ravens game, win or lose. So join us if you're new to the channel. Hit that like and subscribe button. Heston's really just one of those players where the talent has never been in question. It's always been, injuries. Unfortunately, he gets drafted. He has that super unfortunate heart incident. Then next thing you know, gets back on his feet, flies through the ranks, just dominating in the minor leagues. Gets up here, starts really getting his feet underneath him, has a cup of coffee last year, has some big moments. Obviously the home run in Houston last year. He had big moments. He showed the potential. This year he comes back in his limited opportunities, doing well. Finally, he gets an extended look. He's getting hot, hit in the head with a fastball by Clay Holmes. Has to miss, we're over a month now, month and a half since the second time he had to go on the IL. So that's just, unfortunately, with Heston, that he's just had horrible luck. So if Heston can stay healthy and get his feet back underneath him, that's going to be the best case scenario. Seeing stuff about Cano, potentially bad news. I'm really hoping not. I haven't brought it up because I am just really hoping we don't. If this team has to put Cano on the IL, like, talk about how just horrendous. Like, vibes would get so much worse. Like, we already have lost so many people. If we get one guy, like, you get a Danny back and then you lose someone else. Hello, Rocco. Rocco, what do you do? Oh, you're at work. So, yeah. Sam saying Cano, what happened to Cano? So it was Hyde said he had soreness. I believe. When was that? It was over the weekend. Was that Saturday or Sunday that he said he had soreness? So the 14th, Jacob Calvin Myers on the 14th. Yeah, so Hyde said Cano has not been available with soreness. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. They're really hoping Selby's not there for him. Obviously, I wish we could see Cano in the next few days. Hopefully tonight in a big situation, because that would make me feel a lot better about him. But, yeah, so that's why we haven't been seeing Yennier Cano. Yeah. While we're all here, though, any questions? Any questions? Probably going to go for another 10 minutes, but wanted to hop on because Craig Kimbrel getting DFA'd felt like a pretty big deal. Yeah, Mike, I completely agree. If Cano goes on the IL, that's just toss it in. You toss it in. Talking sports, and what about Coulomb? I believe so. Coulomb pitched yesterday, I believe, and then they might give him one more shot pitching in Norfolk just to see how he feels. And then after this, maybe Coulomb could be back even, I think, as early as, weekend, early next week, which would be massive, especially if you get him back for the Tiger series. That would be big. Are saying word on Mountcastle. So, yeah, Ryan Mountcastle, the last we heard, and real fast, Norfolk got rained out yesterday, so he's pitching today. Thank you, Josiah. So he didn't pitch because it was either he was pitching yesterday if Norfolk played, if not, he pitched today. So we'll see. We'll see how he feels after today. Where was this? Who on the injured list do you expect to be back before the end of the season? I'm going to expect Ramon Arias. I expect Danny Coulomb, obviously. And then the last, I don't expect Grayson back, unfortunately. Mounties up in the air. I think Westberg comes back. I think Westberg, Coulomb, and Urias are the three guys that I'm like, okay, I think they're not guarantees to come back, but I think Ramon is going to be within the next week, if not sooner. I mean, Ramon Urias, if you saw him running yesterday, obviously we don't know how he feels today. You can run with the adrenaline on an ankle and it feels fine, and then the next day you can't move it. So we'll see kind of if there's any update on that. Westberg, it's just he's taking BP now. I think he gets back like the first or the last homestand, or not homestand, but the last series maybe against the Twins. I think they're just going to throw him out there, unfortunately, and just he's not going to be able to get many live BP reps, any of that. He's not going to be able to play in any rehab games. He is just simply going out there, and they're going to hope for the best. Eric, Westbrook changes the vibes. I completely agree. Michael's saying Grayson in the bullpen. So, yeah, I think that's the most realistic. If Grayson's going to come back, he's not going to start. They're going to have him throw an inning or two out of the bullpen, which makes me feel weird. I mean, I don't know how much I trust. I love Grayson. I don't know how much I trust him in a high leverage situation, like coming off of a latch strain. So if Grayson's not good to go, if he's not feeling 90%, 85%, like I even wonder if it's worth it having him try to pitch through it. Now, if you go deeper into the playoffs, if the Orioles are sitting in the divisional round, if they somehow would make it to the ALCS and he's been able to pitch more, he's feeling 100% like himself, all of that. I think that's where you would see Grayson kind of have the opportunity to help this team. But right now, I don't think they're going to rush him back to, pitch in a wild card game if they don't feel like he's going to be able to go out there and help. Because him throwing 70% and, the possibility that he's just hanging meatballs, he can't control, he doesn't have all the velo, that's not worth it in the playoffs. If this was middle of July, I would feel great. They would rehab him. They probably, if they had all the time in the world, I would think they'd probably give him another 3-4 weeks before really looking into anything. But they're up against the clock right now. They don't have that time. They have about 10 days. They have 11 days. They have 11 days to try to figure this out. Unfortunately, and that goes for all the injuries. Mountcastle, it seems like, is fighting against the clock. We don't really have an update except for he's in Sarasota. So they talked about getting Mountcastle to Norfolk potentially, but Norfolk's season ends, I think, the 22nd or 23rd. So I'm not sure unless they plan on sending him there today or tomorrow. I don't see him taking any reps in Norfolk. No, man, I agree. How about we win it? How about we win tonight? That's all I want. How about the O's just go out there and win tonight? How's that sound? But before I get out of here, I wanted to bring this up real quick. 1 to 10, do you think the Orioles, in the comments, do the Orioles DFAing Craig Kimbrel change your stance at all about the Orioles? Where do you feel any better about the Orioles, where they stand because Craig Kimbrel's gone? If I'm being honest with you, I don't. I don't think Craig Kimbrel was the issue. Craig Kimbrel's not the one who can't hit with runners in scoring position right now. It would be different if Craig Kimbrel gave up 6 runs or he was giving up 4 runs and the Orioles were losing by 1. It just feels like it just feels like this is not a Band-Aid, but they're just like, well, we'll see if it happens. So I don't know if this makes me feel any better about the Orioles. It's nice that we have an extra arm in the bullpen that I trust more than Craig Kimbrel, but at the same time, actually, oh my gosh, they DFA'd Kimbrel on the same day that Stavi's thrown out the first pitch. I take it all back. The vibes might be back. We might have just, World Series tour might be back on, guys. Kimbrel DFA and Stavi first pitch on the same day is a lot of vibes that I don't know this league is ready for. This is a great point, Mike. The Orioles might mess around and go win the division after all. Just off vibes and friendship. And Stavi. Maybe that's all it takes. We just got Stavi saving the season. What if Stavi kickstarts the World Series tour? That's what's happening. That's what's happening. But all right, wanted to just hop on real quick, talk about Craig Kimbrel getting DFA'd, maybe take a few more questions, other questions just about stuff. But we will be back on Kevin and Zach Reacts after the Orioles game, which starts in about 3.5 hours. So, yeah, we'll be back at it tonight, post-game. Hopefully the Orioles get the win. We have Dean Kramer on the mound. Offense has to show up. Big Dean's pitching incredible over his last 6-7 starts. Just go out there, just win tonight. That's all that matters. Win tonight, and we will be back at it again for the Orioles postgame show. We will see you then. Peace out, everyone.